Google has been on an absolute tear lately. In just the past few days, they dropped updates across completely different parts of the AI ecosystem, from new long-term memory systems to cutting-edge flash models, and even quietly testing AI-generated headlines on people's phones. Google's Titans. Transformers diagram, code snippets, long document graphics. Voiceover. But the first big story comes from Google Research, the unveiling of Titans and Miras. If you remember last year's Titans paper, that was when Google hinted they were done accepting the limits of standard transformers. Transformers are great until the input gets super long. Push past a few 100,000 tokens, and even with fancy optimizations, the compute cost skyrockets, and performance breaks down. On the other hand, RNNs or state space models handle long sequences faster, but they compress everything into tiny states, losing detail along the way. Titans is Google's attempt to blend both worlds. It keeps short-term memory sharp while adding a long-term memory module that actually updates while the model runs. Even smarter, it decides what to remember based on surprise, unexpected events get stored, and old info is forgotten intelligently. Google built 3 types of long-term memory: memory as context, memory as gate, and memory as layer. And the results? Insane. Context windows over 2 million tokens, a 760 million parameter model punching well above its weight, dominating benchmarks, even beating GPT-4 and Llama models paired with retrieval tools. On-screen graphics, benchmarks, memory module visuals, 95% accuracy at 16,000 tokens overlay. Sequence model diagrams, attention-free model animations. Voiceover. Now, that's where Miras comes in, a unifying theory for sequence models. Transformers, RetNet, RWKV, DeltaNet, they're all variations of the same idea: internal memory storing and retrieving information. Miras breaks this into 4 questions. What shape is the memory? How does the model decide what's worth storing? How quickly does new info replace old? How does memory get updated over time? With this roadmap, Google built new attention-free models, Moneta, YAD, Memora, exploring different memory behaviors. In ultra-long context tests, some even outperform transformers. It's not just one model, it's a shift in how we design AI. Diagrams showing continuous learning versus static training. Experts like Ilya Sutskever are already talking about AI that learns like a talented teenager, continuously, actively, and without chewing through mountains of static training data. Quick pause. Productivity workflow graphics, QR code overlay. Voiceover on camera. And speaking of staying on top of AI news, consistency matters. That's why I put together a free guide, 10 of the best AI prompts to boost productivity at work, in your business, or daily life. You can grab it via the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. These are the same prompts I use to plan my day, cut through noise, and turn ideas into action, free and practical. Desktop screen, AI cursor navigating UI, spreadsheets, email client. Now let's switch gears to something equally groundbreaking, Lux, from the OpenAGI Foundation. Unlike chat models with a browser plugin, Lux actually sees the screen, reads the UI, and outputs clicks, scrolls, key presses, basically operating full desktops, browsers, editors, spreadsheets, even email clients. The goal? Let AI handle real user interfaces instead of relying on APIs for everything. And early tests show it's performing incredibly well, marking a major step in AI as actionable infrastructure rather than just conversation tools. Lux benchmark. Screen captures of various web apps, AI cursor navigating forms, dynamic UI overlays. On the Mind2 web benchmark, over 300 real tasks pulled from actual websites, Lux scores 83.6. By comparison, Gemini CUA sits at 69.0, OpenAI Operator at 61.3, and Claude Sonnet 4 at 61.0. The gap speaks for itself. Mind2 Web is brutally unforgiving. Every task depends on visual context, shifting layouts, random UI behaviors, and inconsistent design choices. Yet Lux keeps its footing. A big part of that is its control system, offering 3 levels of autonomy tailored to real workflows. Actor mode handles straightforward steps, filling forms, pulling reports, extracting fields at about 1 second per step, impressive for a model processing full screens. Thinker mode tackles broad, fuzzy goals and breaks them down into actionable steps on its own. Tasker mode provides full determinism. You supply a Python list of steps, and Lux executes them with retries and robust failure handling. Each mode aligns with different types of real-world work people want to automate. On-screen graphics, Lux modes diagram, workflow animations, speed metrics. The real game changer is agentic active pre-training. Lux learns by acting inside digital environments, not just reading text or logs. Using the open-source OS Gym, it can spin up 1,000 OS replicas at once, generating around 1,400 multi-turn trajectories per minute. This hands-on experience teaches Lux to adapt to unfamiliar layouts and develop intuition for how real interfaces behave under pressure. The economics are striking, too. Lux ends up around 10x cheaper per token than OpenAI Operator, making multi-step automation far more affordable. Whether Lux becomes the core engine others build around or sparks competing systems from Google, OpenAI, or Anthropic, the pace of progress in agentic AI is faster than anyone expected. Nano Banana 2 Flash. Fun animation of bananas, tech labs, AI model diagrams. Shifting gears slightly, Google is also preparing a new model, Nano Banana 2 Flash. Yes, food names are back. The Pro version, internally known as Ketchup, now has code references to mayo for the Flash variant. Early access signals show Nano Banana 2 Flash performs nearly identical to the Pro model, but at a much lower operational cost. This is classic Google: Pro models for premium performance, Flash models for high-volume, cost-sensitive scenarios. Current signals suggest the public announcement could come in December. If it delivers Pro-level quality at Flash-level cost, Google could immediately expand the Nano Banana line, reaching far more users without breaking the bank. Nano Banana 2 Flash. Users generating images, batch processing animation, Gemini app interface. VoiceOver. Nano Banana 2 Flash is especially valuable for users relying on high-frequency image generation or large batch workloads. Flash models can run endlessly without exploding your bill. Since Nano Banana drives Gemini's engagement, releasing a cheaper variant with the same performance is a strategic move, basically Google saying, "We want more people using this model every day at scale." Google Discover Headline Experiment. Google Discover Feed, headlines being rewritten, newsroom reactions. VoiceOver. But while all this is happening on the model and infrastructure side, Google quietly rolled out a stranger experiment inside Google Discover, and it upset a lot of newsrooms. Android users noticed AI rewriting their headlines, not the articles, the headlines. Sometimes the meaning completely changed. For example, a PC gamer story about a Baldur's Gate 3 glitch became BG3 players exploit children. An Ars Technica article about Steam machine pricing turned into Steam machine price revealed. Some headlines were shortened so aggressively they lost all context. Worse, the AI label only appears after tapping, making it look like the publisher wrote it. Editors warned this could erode trust, as readers might assume misrepresentation came from the outlet itself. Google called it a small UI experiment for a limited set of users, intended to make topics easier to scan, but they did not explain why many rewritten titles diverged so far from the original meaning. Gemini growth. Gemini app interface, charts of MAU growth, user engagement animations. Now, the final piece, Gemini's growth surge. Following a code red internal memo from Sam Altman, teams focused on personalization, reliability, image generation, and core features. Sensor Tower data shows ChatGPT holds 50% of global downloads, 55% of global monthly active users, 810 MAUs from August to NOV, but growth is slowing, 6%. Gemini grew around 30% in the same period.